Welcome to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. I'm Diana,
I'm Liz.
and we're going to talk about season 13, episode 9, The Bad Place.
It's better than the bad touch, I guess.
It made me think of like the Good Place show because there's the Good Place and the Bad Place.
There is, although this came out before that was a thing, so I guess they did it first. But I mean, I enjoy the bad place and the good place. I mean, I would hang out in that bad place because at least I would like be one of the demons there. They were pretty
Yeah.
enjoyable.
They were entertaining.
They're mainly just about farting.
There was a lot of farting.
Yeah, which is kind of a different take on demons from the show.
Yes, a much different take on demons. But yeah. Well, Liz, what have you been up to?
Well, I just got back from my trip, and so we took a week off. For those of you who catch us every week, thank you for your patience. Sometimes we just need to take weeks off because we can't always double up. And so I went to Lilydale, New York, which is, for those of you who know, you know, but it's the medium spiritualist town in upstate New York, and the weather was kind of nice, kind of bad. It was in the 60s and raining, so it was like kind of like being in Seattle a little bit. I don't know. But then like when it wasn't raining, it was really nice and sunny and pretty. And got to do all the Lilydale things. Was there for Shannon Taggart symposium, and so got to hear some cool lectures on the history of spiritualism, which I always enjoyed. And then there was, of course, like all the mediums giving messages at the stump. I think I got a message for Diana, not for me, but that's just how this goes. No, the message wasn't for me. Maybe it was for your sister. I don't know. You can ask your sister.
Sure.
So then there was two like medium events I thought were really cool they want to share. So one was on Monday nights. They do this every day in the summer. All the registered, or most of the registered mediums, come out from their houses, and for $20 you get to go sit with these mediums and get a reading. So you'll be like a medium for like a group of like 3 to 4 people. My group was only 2 people because I was there by myself and I was the loser who wasn't there with friends. And also, so this is how it would go, right? So everybody goes into the auditorium. It's a pretty big auditorium, and each medium has empty chairs around them, right? And then they would just kind of divide people into groups of 3 or 4. But there are people who are kind of upset that they weren't with like the people they came with. And to me, it was kind of like, I felt like it was being on an airplane. Like, do you need to sit with your like close people on an airplane and talk to them? Like, sometimes it's okay to be with people you don't know, and maybe your entire family doesn't need to hear. Like, I don't know if I would want my family hearing all of my messages from the dead. There could be embarrassing stuff in there that
That's true.
So I thought, but that was just, but there were so many, like it was like 30 mediums for like 100 people. So
Wow.
yeah, it was, and also everyone's getting their readings done at the same time, and it's like $20. And normally, like to get a private reading for these mediums, it's like $200 an hour.
Yeah.
So I think getting this, it was like, hey, like I'll do the $20 thing. Like that seems like a much better. I'm not saying that $200 isn't worth your money, but it's just not what I prefer to spend $200 on.
Right.
That's just my choice. And so $20 was more my jam. And I got to, so that was one of the medium things that like, so that was my like mental mediumship, right? On Wednesdays, they highlight physical mediumship. And that's where spirit is manifesting and giving you physical evidence of things. So it could be like ectoplasm coming out, making spirit trumpets move. They do spoon bending. And this week that I was there, it was transfiguration. And that's when the ectoplasm makes people's faces change into like different things. So the way that they did it was she brought her own spirit cabinet, and her spirit cabinet was really a shower tent for camping. So it was like kind of, that is, I don't know how to describe what they are. You just look up shower tent and you'll see what those size are. But that's what they brought, and would put a folding chair inside of it, and then put a red light on her face, and she went into trance. And then the group of us sat around and watched her go into trance, and then talked about what we saw. And like I don't know, I think her face changed into a man. Oh, and it could just be, and then they said like the more you talk about it, the more likely you are to see that happening, which psychologically makes sense to me, right? The more somebody says, "Oh, I see her
Everybody
growing
can
a
see it then. Yeah.
goatee," then everyone else is, you're more likely to be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I see." It's like looking at clouds, right, and
Yeah.
seeing
That's to
like
say,
the bunny.
that's exactly what I was about to say. It's like, oh, that looks like a bunny or a dog. And everybody's like, oh, now I see it, but they wouldn't have otherwise. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's the pattern recognition, like mixed in with, with the group mentality, and then just what your brain is doing as you're looking at this light. But I mean, she was getting, or she was merging with the spirit world and her face was changing. I'm not going to say that didn't happen. I don't know.
Right.
But it was a cool way to, it was in the haunted hotel. So it was a cool environment. And yeah, a fun little seance thing that I hadn't done before. So it was fun to do like new
Yeah.
ghosty stuff.
Neat.
So yeah, and
Sounds scary.
that was, it was a good trip. And yeah, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Oh, I don't know, man. I guess like the biggest things is that we've got socket starting training. So yay, puppy training. And then Dave and I are now season ticket holders to the new soccer league in Dallas, the lower than MLS. It's the ULS, I think is what it's called.
The
Yeah,
World Cup got you.
did man. Well, and like I can't. He's a big Premier League fan, and I know a lot of people that are, and I just can't get attached to a team in England that plays at an annoying time. Um, and soccer is hard to watch on television, but I love an event. Like I will go to an event. And so if I can go to something, that's kind of fun. And it's at the Cotton Bowl, which is in Fair Park in Dallas. And I love Fair Park. And it's an excuse to go to Fair Park because it's cool old Art Deco buildings. It's amazing.
Well, let's see
But
how you feel after a season of this.
correct. We will see how I feel after a season of this. See how many of the games we go to versus like
Yeah.
say, oh, you want to use our tickets? Here you go. But yeah, that's about it because we had a lot of family stuff before that, and then oh yeah, I did a bunch of family stuff for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, and then that's when you went out of town on your birthday, and then yeah, that's where we're at. Now I'm about to go out of town myself, my vacation.
Now
Woohoo!
it's Diana's turn.
Woohoo! I'm ready. I need it.
Yes. Everybody
Need
needs a little
it.
vacation.
Oh my gosh, for real. I'm
Or
ready.
a lot of vacation.
I mean, I'd prefer a lot, but I'll take a little. How about that?
I'll take a little. I would like a lot more. And it's always fun when you go to some place where you're not staying in a luxury hotel. And I guess like my past few trips haven't been like real luxury
Yeah.
places, like getting, and it'd be nice to get a little pampered, you
Yeah.
know.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
anyhow, all right. And so nothing really is going on with the boys except that it was Jared's birthday because his birthday
Yes.
is right after mine.
Yes.
And so he is 1 year younger than me, I think.
Okay.
I think. So he's 48. I have to look exactly, but I think he's 1 year. He was 1 year behind me. Anyhow, so happy birthday, Jared. And
Yes.
I hope you didn't do anything stupid. And hey, you never know. It's Sharon Padalecki. And I'm sure he had a great time.
Yes.
Anyhow, all right, so let's talk about The Bad Place. And this first aired December 7th, 2017. It was directed by Phil, whose last name I refuse to pronounce anymore. And he last directed this season. He did the season premiere. He did Lost and Found, and he also directed All on the Watchtower, the season finale of last season. And this was written by Robert Behrens. And this season, he did Patience, which makes sense given this episode.
Yes.
And then last season, did a bunch of them, of course, including right towards the end, he did 22's Who We Are. So makes sense with the storylines, kind of like having both of them around on here. All right, so our recap. Patient psychic vision of Jody getting stabbed. Jack is an interdimensional can opener. More Jack and Lucifer. Jody telling patient's dad she's a psychic. He doesn't want the hunter's life for her, but Jody always has an open door for patients. Then Mary punching Lucifer and ending up in the bad place. Jack could be the solution for Mary. Jack killed the security guard and thinks he's evil like Lucifer, and then he amps grade. And that was our recap. And we go to what is like an artist studio.
Yeah. and we've got a woman there and with the artist, and yeah, and they're talking about his. There's got a really scary painting in the background they're looking at.
Yeah, they're making out, and she's just like, "You've got this like painting, and it's kind of looking at me," and she's like, uses it as an excuse to make her escape.
Yeah, because he's waiting on a private collector anyways. So knock, knock, knock. We have a Jack is there. And so Jack is his private collector there to look at his art. And they're like, oh, you're a little young to be an art collector, but okay. So she leaves. And I think this is my weird comment, and I'm not judging, but I think it's like he works in digital and oil, and that seems like a big spread of different mediums. But good for him for having a varied
He
skill
has
set.
range, you know.
Yes, but but Jack's just straight up like the woman's gone, and Jack's just like, hey, I'm here because you're a dream walker, and our artist, who we find his name is Derek, he's just like, yeah, I just say that for like the articles, it's whatever. And Jack's like, no, I know you are, and I'm going to give you your whole background because I know your entire family lineage of Native American, medicine man.
Yeah, so your father was a medicine man and his father before him, and he traces his lineage all the way back to the shaman Black Elk. And then he's like, but you can see other worlds. And this is when Derek's like, man, like if you're not going to buy my shit, you need to go. And Jack just somehow has a wad of cash.
Yeah, what the fuck? How did Jack get cash? But either way, he's like, Jack's like, I need you to dream walk for me, and points at a painting of Apocalypse World and is like, there, that's where we need to go. So we see Derek's a little apprehensive, but he puts his feet in some water, and Jack stands behind him and puts his hands on his head. And he starts meditating. He's like, this is not my favorite place to go, which is fair because we've seen Apocalypse World and it looks unpleasant. I don't think it's
I
where
wouldn't
I'd
want to
want to
go
go.
there. Yeah.
No. And so we see all this, and Jack's encouraging him and pep talking him. And then when he can't go any further, Jack squeezes his head, and there's gold stuff coming out of Jack's fingers into Derek's face. And
He
Derek's
taps
head's
into his
glowing.
brain. Yeah. And it
Yeah.
just does not look pleasant for Derek. This does not look like a
Very
good time.
unpleasant. He looks very painful. He's yelling out, but either way, Jack can see what he's seeing there, and then we see the water steaming, and it seems bad.
And so then Paula comes in, that's a girlfriend, and
After Jack's gone.
after
Gone
Jack
now.
has left, and she finds Derek there with his eyes burnt out. And so we're left with that. We go to the bunker where Dean is calling our friend Patience, who we haven't seen in a couple episodes, because he's just desperate. He's asking for her for help, trying to find Jack. Cass is still looking for Jack. They found out so, but he's not in this episode. He's looking for Jack. He's working a lead in Tucson.
Or is he?
Or is he? And Jody calls to tell them that there is a local artist, and there is a body whose eyes have been burned out. And there was a witness, and it looked like Jack was there.
Yeah. So from there, we cut to Patience at home or doing homework, and she is looking at her phone, sees a bunch of missed calls from Dean. But she's not answering them, but she's getting them clearly. And her dad's like, oh, I heard you got a C on your test, and your plan is to get a perfect GPA and a perfect SAT so you can go to Ivy League school. And so
yeah, he's really on those, sounds like very 90s train. If you could do anything, if you get into an Ivy, that's all you got to do. And all you have to do is be perfect. That's fine. Like, no problem.
No
Just be perfect, you teenager.
Yeah. And she's like, hey, it's only one time I've gotten a C, but also Dean's been calling me, and her dad's upset. But she's like, I haven't answered him. And he's like, well, but everything's been working. You haven't been having any visions, right? And she just kind of like, yeah, sure. But she's looking at her phone.
Oh.
Hmm.
And then we go back to Bismarck, North Dakota.
Because of course, Sam and Dean are going to go investigate the artist with the burned out eyes, because how could they not? And they are the girl, Derek's girlfriend, which weirdly in the cast they have the same last name, so I think it's supposed to be his wife. But anyways,
Okay, maybe it was his wife.
But they call it girlfriend in the episode. So
okay, yeah,
IMDb. But she's like, yeah, that's definitely a photo. That
maybe they're brother and sister.
Like, ew. And so
In
they
just North
show,
Dakota.
oh no, they show a picture and they're like, yeah, that's Steph. She's like, yeah, Jack, that's who was here. And they're commenting on some of the art. And that's when, she's, they comment on his imagination. And she just says that he didn't like that word. He used a different word to describe his work. It was reportage, I think. And so,
Portage.
portage. And so, places that he would visit as a dream walker. And Dean sees the painting of Apocalypse World, and he knows that has to be something. That's because it's Apocalypse World. So they go out to the car, and Dean's getting coffee. Sam is looking at Dreamwalker lore.
In John's journal, because John's
Mm-hmm.
journal has the answer to everything. And he's
Everything.
saying, like, the lore on dreamwalking is pretty inconsistent. And he's not wrong. So this is kind of lore, because the lore about dream walking is very inconsistent, and most of what I found seemed to be new age garbage. There is a lot of older literature from anthropologists about dreams and indigenous cultures, but they were more like about vision quests and dream interpretations, not necessarily about traveling to other worlds. There's the on aeronautics groups of people who do like astral projection, but it's different. It's not the same. I don't know. So there is, to be specific, here is some information I found on the garbage website, witcheslore.com. I'm sorry, your site's not garbage, it's fine. And this was about how to dream walk. This is how they're telling us how to do it. So according to witcheslore.com, first, you need to create a bedtime ritual. And none of this stuff seemed to be what Derek was doing. So apparently, Derek is doing this all wrong. Okay, so you should have a ritual before you go to bed. It should be 5 to 10 minutes long and be done regularly so your spirit can get the message it is time to dreamwalk. They recommend lighting a candle and saying, "With this flame, I open the door to sacred dreaming." Now, if you can sleep with a lit fucking candle, good for you, but I can't, and I don't suggest that you do. They also suggest burning some mugwort, lavender, or sandalwood incense to help cleanse your space. And I don't know who has mugwort incense, but if you do, you should burn it, I guess. Anyhow, they also say you should gently anoint your third eye with some kind of oil, which is, I think, pretty good. Like, don't smack yourself in the face hard, like do something. Moisturize right there. And they said you could use any kind of oil, even just olive oil. So just go to your kitchen and grab some olive oil and, maybe some avocado oil. That would also be nice and moisturizing.
Yeah, not butter.
Not butter. I don't think the butter would be great. I think it needs to be an oil. That's more egg yolk than oil. So, and it can also leave a little film too. Then they think you should make a dream walking charm or a talisman that you can carry around or put under your pillow, and that could be a small pouch of herbs. Again, they're urging mugwort or chamomile or rose. And I'm like, rose to sleep with? No, thank you, Grandma. That's not a sleep smell. I also just don't like rose. So it's just an overpowering scent. Anyways, so you can use a crystal like amethyst, celestite, or labradorite, or draw a sigil on paper, cloth, or your skin. Dun dun dun. So you draw all over yourself, and then we
already did that.
We already had to, so I permanently drew on myself. So before you fall asleep, though, you should visualize your portal and picture yourself walking through the portal again in a gentle way. But you don't have to do this alone. You can call your trusted spirit guides, your ancestors, your deities, or any other trusted allies to come on your side. You can call them by saying, "Spirits who walk with me, I invite you into my dreams. Guide me, teach me, protect me as I cross the veil tonight." Or instead, you can say this spell: "By night's embrace and starlight deep, let spirit rise while body sleeps. I walk the paths where magic flows to realms beyond where spirit goes." Nice little rhyme they got going there.
Yes.
So the site says, while dream walking, you may move differently, be able to fly, or talk without words. You can meet ancestors or your spirit guides. You may also visit places you've never been, and they may seem scary, but if you see something frightening, try not to panic, as these could just be reflections of your trauma. which to me is also more horrifying. I'm like, I'm seeing a monster, and it's like, this is, remember that thing that happened to you as a child? Like, no, I don't want to remember it. That's why it's called trauma and locked up in here. I don't want to meet my trauma monster. Thank you. But you can always remind yourself that you're dreaming or lean on the spirit guides who are with you. And they say next time you should set stronger protections. Then the article gives a list of do's and don'ts. First is protection first, which I think is a good rule for most things. Protection first, glove up here. And they say that a simple warding spell or crystal near your bed can do wonders. That you should stay grounded. Even magical exploration work is better when your body is well fed, hydrated, and rested. Which I don't think you should be grounded if you're trying to move out of, like, in your spirit, like in your dreams and moving into things. Like, I would think you would want to be less grounded, right? I don't want to be like feeling all heavy, but that's just me. They think you should work with the moon. The full moon is very powerful for dream work, but the waning moon can be great for healing journeys. Do use the sigils, symbols, be open. Don't be discouraged if it doesn't work. Sometimes your spirit just needs to get more comfortable. You should feel free to ask for help. Your guides and your ancestors and deities can assist. You just be respectful and be clear in your request. Don't be a dick. You've got to be nice to them. Pay attention to repeating symbols. So there's animals, landscapes, and objects that you see over and over in your dreams. They could be messages. Oh, avoid heavy or toxic energy before bed, which I think is also generally a good rule. It says no doom scrolling. So I also think that's a good rule before bed. Stop, or just in general, just to not doom scroll. They want you to keep a dream journal close so you can write down everything, even weird or random stuff. It all adds up. And then you should rest. You should take some extra rest after you go on your dream journey because sleeping can be exhausting.
Okay.
So that's according to witches lore. So that's not my lore. That was witches lore. And that is how you dream walk. So Derek was doing none of those things. I don't know why he had his feet in water. It looks just like a way to electrocute yourself.
That too.
This is what it just worries me. I'm like, I don't, and it just feels unpleasant unless it was like a warm pedicure bath. Anyways,
well, it steamed eventually, so
it did steam eventually. All right, so in the car after Sam is not having any luck on his lore quest, Dean is back on the we need to kill Jack train.
Yeah, because he's like, well, he must have gone to the apocalypse world looking for Daddy. So they think he's looking for they think he has gone bad and he is looking for Lucifer.
For some reason, they have made this conclusion.
And Sam's like, well, we don't know about that, but we need to talk to a dream walker. Because good news, Sam's already hacked Derek's email and found another dream walker that he was emailing with. Named Kaya.
That's convenient. So her name is Kaya. And where is Kaya? Kaya is in rehab. No. And this group leader seems awful. He is not a good way to get someone to emotionally share. He wants her to talk about the incident when she apparently overdosed on amphetamines and had more in her bag that she didn't steal, that gasp she bought from a drug dealer, which he makes it sound like this is I'm like, you're in a rehab place. All of you have bought drugs from a drug dealer at one time. It's why you are in rehab. Correct. But she does make a very cute quip that she prefers to think of it as a small businessman just trying to make it in Trump's America.
But we learned that she's there under court order. And
and then he wants her to talk about her scars. And she's just like, dude, stop. And then she tells him that she's not an addict, and which everyone's like, of course you're not an addict. That's what we all say. Mm-hmm. But she's trying to explain that the junk is the only thing that keeps her awake and away from.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, we all face our bad places. Luckily, this very terrible group session ends, and who is there but Jack? And he introduces himself to Kaya, and he tells her that he's there because he likes cocaine.
And which she thinks is he's just a rich boy, but I could also see Jack liking cocaine. So he tells her though that he is a friend of Derek's, and he knows that she is a dream walker, and he can get her out of there. So just follow me.
And while this is happening, Sam and Dean have pulled up at the facility, and the Sam's sharing Kaya's very sad family history where basically everyone's dead and then she OD'd and got arrested. And so while that's happening, we've got Jack and Kaya walking down the hall. The counselor tries to stop them, and Jack just boops the counselor, and she follows him. And but she's like looking at him like he's crazy and asks what he is. He's like, "You're not the only one with powers." And right when they get outside, after he refuses to tell her what he is, she's like, "Okay, you got me out. Bye." Because she is not interested in learning anything more about Jack. And Sam and Dean are there and intervene. And while Jack's distracted, Kaya kicks him and punches him and runs.
She does. Well, he was also being very aggressive with
He
her at
was.
some point. He was like holding onto her arm, and I could see her being like, no, I don't want to do that. So after she punches him and takes off, the boys stop Jack from following her because they think that he killed Derek, but he didn't even know that Derek was dead.
Yeah. And he's like, "No, I just left to get a grip on my powers, and I was trying to do a good thing here, and I was figuring out how to open to other worlds, and I used the Dreamwalker eyes, and I found Derek, and it worked." And I followed his dream walking with him, and I got to the apocalypse world, and I found Mary, and she's in the Iron fucking Maiden, and she's alive, but she's in danger. And then Derek woke up, and he shows this by touching Sam and Dean's heads and demonstrates this whole thing to him. And their eyes all glow. And now they're upset. They see what he saw, and they see that Mary's being tortured.
That freaks Dean out. Then we go to Kaya, who is hitchhiking, which is never great. And a couple stops her, and but they pan inside the car, and we can see Angel Blade.
Angel.
It's angels, and that's who killed Derek. Of course, that's why his eyes were burned out because it was fucking angels.
Of course. And they bonk her on the head and drive away. And so, yeah, we get a cut from that to a creepy scene in the woods and Jody getting stabbed. What the fuck is happening? Apparently, this is Patience's vision that she inconveniently gets while driving.
While she's driving, which seems like a insurance nightmare. I don't
For
even want to
real.
think about this one. If you hit my car while you were having a fucking vision. But also, why do her visions always end up with Jody dying? Like he was like you're just like really tuned into that. So we go from that to a basement or something of some abandoned structure where Kaya is tied to a chair.
Yeah. And the angels tell her that we don't really want you. We just want Jack. And she's like, "Cocaine boy?" And they're like, "No, no, he's the son of Lucifer." And she's like, "What the fuck?" But basically they we get a little monologue that they tried to get info from Derek, but they tortured him to track her down and then killed him. And now she's
Yeah.
bait.
And the Winchesters got involved like they do. So they needed bait. The cops are also looking for Kaya. Dean has
Mm-hmm.
now, we're in baby now. And so Dean has now gotten off of the let's kill Jack train and now has jumped on the let's find Mary train. And now is
Yes.
back to like being all cool with Jack. And he asks Jack if he's okay. And Jack is like, y'all thought I could kill Derek? What the fuck? What is
Yeah.
wrong
He's
with
upset.
you?
Yeah. And they're like, "Well, we didn't know. I mean, it could have been an accident and, whatever, when you disappeared, you weren't in a very good place." And Dean's like, we thought you were looking for your dad. And he's like, "Why? He's no one to me. You and Castiel are my family." Oh.
And
And
Dean agrees. He
yeah,
says, yes, we are. And that finding Mario was a good thing. But then Jack gets hit with Angel Radio and determines that they have Kaya.
yeah. So we go to Patience's house where she is packing. And her dad is pissed because she's gonna miss a few days of school and he's gonna stop her. And she's like, "Well, my friend's in danger, and that's I have to go help. The visions never stop, Dad, by the way. It's usually small and I can try to ignore it, but this doesn't work anymore. I have to follow through." And Dad's like trying to like, "Oh, I was wrong to lie to you about your grandma and all that." Da, 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 da. And she's like, "Okay, fine, but I'm gonna do the right thing because that's what you taught me to do." And he's like, then he flips it and he's like, "Fine, if you choose that life, don't come back."
Yeah, such crap. Like,
What?
it's why.
She's in high school, man.
Yeah,
Anyways.
no, and just I guess his life with his mom really fucked him up or something. I
I
don't know. Like,
guess.
it must have he.
Weird.
It's just yeah. I don't know why he thought that would work, but she leaves anyhow. So now she's got these bad things with her dad. But so she hits the road, and we go to our abandoned building, and Kaya's telling them that their plan sucks because nobody will come looking for her because she doesn't think she matters.
Yeah. And they're like, no, no, they will because that's what they do. And then we're gonna kill the Winchesters and we're gonna take Jack. Ta-da! But guess what? They're already there, and Dean has another angel held with an angel blade to their neck. And yeah, and Sam's like, no, we're taking the girl. And the angels are like, Jack, you should be with your own kind. You should come with us. And Jack's like, but you kill people and kidnap them. Why would I go with you? And she's like, no, come on, come home. He's like, I am home. Oh, and then we have a fight.
Yeah, and he said
Big
we need
fight.
to figure out what to call him, what his thing is, because I'm like Jack Sonic blast the angels. I don't know
Yeah,
what to
sure.
call this like whoa
And they
thing
like
that comes.
freeze and slow mo and change
So
move directions. I
yeah,
like it.
I don't know what it is. So I'm just going with Sonic blast,
I
and
like it. I like it. I'll roll with
so
that.
one of them goes out the window, and then he stops one from stabbing Dean, and then he makes him stab himself. So Dean goes after the other angel, and then they tell Kaya that we're hunters and Jack is the son of Satan.
Mm-hmm. And they have to explain that those were bad angels. So Jack's like, come on now, come on, Kaya, come with us, we'll protect you. And she's like, and Sam's like, yeah, we need you. Our mom's trapped in another world, and Jack knows where it is. He can open the door, and we can all save our mom with your help. And she's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to dream walk. Fuck y'all. But yeah. So she thinks that dream walking is a curse, not a gift. And that Derek was free to go see a bunch of paradises, but all she sees, the only thing that she sees is the bad place full of blood, death, and monsters. Which
And it's
sounds
not
unpleasant.
just dreams. So when she gets hurt on the other side, she wakes up bloody. And that's where her scars have come from. So her scars have come from
That's
the
fucked
bad
up.
place.
That's fucked
Yeah,
up.
it's bad. But Dean is not taking no for an answer, and he pulls his gun out on her and tells her to get in the car, and they're going to South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a turn for Dean. Whew.
Yeah, so he is
So
now threatened a young teenage girl with the gun because he wants to get his mom back no matter what.
So they're driving, and Sam's a little shell shocked by this too, but he doesn't stop Dean. Just saying. So Sam's like, "What are we gonna do? Are you gonna make her dream walk at gunpoint?" And Dean's like, "We're gonna get mom back no matter what." And while they're talking about this in the front seat, clearly Jack and Kaya can hear this conversation because they're sitting in the back seat, and Jack's trying to talk about how he can relate because he was scared of his powers too. But as they are driving, we notice the angel that got away out the window by getting flung out the window is driving the shitty station wagon towards them without headlights. So Jack explains that Derek thought that they could help each other. And she's like, but Derek's dead because of you. And he's like, look, let me just give you 5 seconds. I'll show you what Derek saw. It's not just the bad place, it's everything. And so he touches her head, and her eyes glow gold, and she's just like in awe at whatever he shows her. And he's just like, look, anybody powers can be good and do good things. And then they almost get in a wreck.
Yeah, by the station wagon. And so they pull off the side of the road in a shipyard.
It's
Are
so
there
weird. A
shipyards
closed
in North
shipyard.
Dakota?
A
What
closed
body of
shipyard.
water? I'm sure I'm very ignorant, and there is a huge lake or something there that I don't know about. But I'm like, why is there a fucking shipyard in
I
the
don't
middle
know.
of Dakotas? Okay, so I'm bad at geography,
Maybe
but
that's why it's closed.
maybe
It wasn't
that's
been
why
here
it's
for it.
closed, why there's no water for it to go on. I don't know. So Jack is getting hurt by Angel Radio. So they all run to an abandoned boat because they're like, you know what? We've done a lot of abandoned warehouses.
We
We
need an
really
abandoned
haven't done
boat.
a lot of abandoned boats.
But they do have a go bag. I was impressed. They did grab a bag
That
on the
would
back of
seem
the
to be
boat.
prepared for this situation.
but they run onto the boat, which is such a weird choice. But while Sam and Jack and Kaya go on the boat, Dean waits outside to face off with the angel chick, and they're like, "We need the angel, we need the boy because heaven's running out of angels and he can save us." And Dean says, "You dicks can fry." And then there's a whole bunch of angels. And then Dean's like, "Oh, fuck." So he runs to the boat too. And Sam is frantically painting sigils to keep the angels out, but it's too many of them. Dean's like, "We're screwed. There's just too many." At the same time, Jack's telling Kaya everything's going to be fine. So it's a very reassuring situation for all of them.
Yep. And so the angels start smiting the sigils.
Yeah.
And Dean wants to go out guns blazing. And Kaya has another plan that they can just open a door to another world. So the angels continue to smite. Kaya goes and sits into a chair and goes into a trance to go into another world. And she just goes straight to the bad place. She doesn't go, like she said, she just doesn't go anywhere else.
And there's like a giant fucking skull there. It looks like almost like a cartoon dinosaur skull.
It does. It's like prehistoric dinosaur land where that they seem to be. She seems to be showing. And Jack wants her to let go. And it manages to zoom out and you kind of get to see like all these different like worlds that are like universes that are kind of floating. It's kind of cool. And then he was like, "Oh, there's Apocalypse World. Let's go there." And so we could see that and we could see Mary, but then Kaya keeps going back to the bad place. And then she screams and then she gets all glowy, and then the glowy light kills all the angels, and then everyone is gone.
Yeah. And all that's left is one of the gold line, the rift or whatever.
Little rift line is there. Yep. And we go there, we go to Jody's.
Yeah. Now we're just at Jody's house, and she is leaving a voicemail for Sam to see if he's okay. And who's at the door but Patience? Knock, knock, knock. And tells her something bad is coming. Well, that's always what you want to hear. Don't you just want someone that has visions to show up at your door and say that?
Yeah, so great to see you. Thank you. You couldn't have called first, so I could be gone. So we go back from there to the shipyard, and in the dock are a bunch of angel blades
melted.
Like fell into the dog is pretty cool, and then you can see the wings on the ship walls, which also was pretty cool.
Agreed.
And we zoom out. Yeah, and we zoom out and we find out kind of where everybody landed.
Yeah. And Kaya's on the grass next to a road, and it looks like normal world. Or world,
it looks like Earth world, right? So that looks like she's regular world. And Jack, though, is in Apocalypse World with Mary. And she's in her cage. Mary's in her cage, and there's Jack. So they're Jack has made it to Apocalypse World.
Correct. But Sam and Dean are in the woods in what appears to be Kaya's bad place, and they start walking, and they step down into a giant footprint, like a dinosaur footprint,
and like a bird footprint because it's only 3 toes.
Correct.
It's 3 toes. So, but there's only one of them, so we can't see them. But they don't even notice that they've walked into it. No. Oops.
Yeah. Whew. That's our episode.
And then you can hear a roar.
Yeah, there's a roar. That's concerning.
Yeah, so that is where we've ended up. And do we have? I know we've got some people to talk about.
We do. So on our cast this week, Kaya Nias is played by Yadira Guevara Prip, and we will see her again. She's been in episodes also of Star Trek Discovery, 13 Reasons Why, and Grey's Anatomy. And she is also a character named The Shadow, has a recurring character in the TV series S13E09. Derek Swan was played by Nathaniel Arcand. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in episodes of Smallville, Kung Fu, My Life with the Walter Boys. He was also Little Hawk in the movie Crazy Horse, Tonto in the 2003 version of Lone Ranger. He was a ninja in the film Elektra. He is a special agent, Christian Sky in FBI Most Wanted series as a recurring character. Chayton in the film Sinners, and Scott as a reoccurring character in the TV series Heartland.
Yes, he was a very important character in Heartland.
Elawan is our main angel that we saw in this, female angel, and her name is Elfina Luck, which is is a cool
That's
name.
a cool name.
I know. And she's been in episodes of Smallville, V, Fringe, Lucifer, Zoo, and Kung Fu. She was Sergeant Han in the film Skyscraper. Joyce in iZombie is a reoccurring character. She's a Secretary of Homeland Security in Sonic the Hedgehog, which just sounds like a very serious role in a not
For
serious
Sonic.
movie. But and then she's a nurse. She's been a nurse in over 50 episodes of The Good Doctor, so she's been reoccurring in that. Paula Swan, our girlfriend of Derek / wife, whatever you think she was played by Ella Cannon. She's been in iZombie, Letterkenny, Murder in a Small Town, and Animal Control. Our male angel, that was kind of the sidekick one, the main one, he was in episodes of was played by Brom Taylor. He's been in episodes of Arrow, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Riverdale, Yellow Jackets, and Tracker. Our bad counselor was played by Milo Shandell. He's been in episodes of iZombie, Trackers, Magicians, Nancy Drew, and Batwoman. He's also Mirondo in the movie Okja. OKJ is how it's spelled. I think that's how you say it. And he was a professor in the film The Atom Project. Newer movie. So, there we go. That's our
Very
cast.
cool. I'm totally looking up whether or not there's a shipyard in Bismarck, North Dakota. Oh, there are. Yeah,
Okay.
there's like, yeah, I mean, it looks like, oh, it was a German battleship named Bismarck. But no, it looks like, I guess like where like Lewis and Clark, there's riverboats.
Okay. This didn't quite look rivery, but we'll take it. It's close enough.
I'll
Why
take
not?
it. It looks like it. And so I still don't know why you would need a shipyard for it, but sure. Okay. Anyhow, so what did you think of the episode?
I liked it. This was an interesting episode. It had a lot of twists and turns, a lot of fun characters. Dean's emotional roller coaster was a lot. But I actually really enjoyed the episode and the concept.
I think it's like a concept, and I mean, I wish I hadn't killed
Yeah.
Derek. He was a cool character,
Agree.
and the idea again, the idea of dream walking is annoying. From the lore
Right.
standpoint,
It's
one,
not clear. Yeah.
it's
What is
not
it?
clear, and it's also, I mean, part of it I think is if you're saying it's something that is from Native American culture, that is something that is traditionally an oral culture, so not a lot of things are getting written down. Why I said there was a lot of things from like anthropologist perspective, and I wasn't really finding like even like Blackout Speaks, which is a good book, and I'm glad I have it. I read a lot of shamanism books this week, but they're more, like I said, like they're more about like vision questing, right, as opposed to dream walking, which I think is different. I think they're two
Yeah.
different concepts.
I think like when I
So
hear
yeah,
dream walking, I think of like in oh gosh, I forget the character's name in like the TV show Ghosts, like going to visit someone else in their dreams because there's other concepts about that too, which I
but we
think
did
is
that in this show with the African dream route.
oh I know.
Remember
I'm just
we
saying
did
that
that?
that's more
Yeah,
the
I
term
know.
I think of. That's when I hear dream walk. That's what I think of, like the
Yeah,
word. But I know that's not
but
what
for
they mean.
this it's going through as visiting other
Other
dimensions and
worlds,
other
yeah,
worlds, and finding that specifically when I was that's
yeah,
what I was trying to find. And like, and even just talking about people walking into other people's dreams,
yeah,
that was something that was not really talked about. It was more about like your dreams are get interpreted a certain way, or it was more about the dream itself and not really about going into other worlds. I don't know. So that was that concept of it gets to me. But I mean, I'm glad we brought Kaya in. I'm glad
hmm
Patience was in the episode. We got a
yeah.
little bit of Jody, which is prepping for next week's episode, which will be pretty. I can't wait for you to see, and
I'm
we'll have an
excited.
interesting conversation about next week's episode. Yeah, the Dean shit, like what the fuck, Dean? I don't know, like why you just pulled a gun on a teenage girl.
Yeah. Well, you
How
went
could you
from
sleep at
first
night?
so you wanted to kill Jack, and then so you want to find Jack, then you want to kill Jack, then Jack was perfect and amazing, and then you pulled a gun on a teenage girl. That's a lot.
Yeah, and Sam just kind of seemed sort of duh this episode.
Yeah, he's
I
just
don't
along
know.
for the fucking ride. Like
Yeah,
he's like, okay, I'll do my Sam things. Here, I did some research, and now I'm gonna draw some sigils. That's what I do.
I've spray painted some sigils. At least they've finally gotten to the point of like we can use spray paint. We don't have to cut our hand.
That's good. Very true.
Yeah, at least they're packing spray paint.
There's something in the go bag of use.
Something in the go bag of use. All right. So go bag of use. I think that's a good note to end it on. Make sure your go bags are prepped with useful things.
For sure.
All right. Cheers, sure.
Cheers, bitch.